How's the tour so far?
So far, the tour has been great. Yeah.
And you started right before this tour. You played the Desert Generator Fest, and you're also a founder of that fest. Can you tell us a bit about the idea behind this fest?
Well, it started out with a friend of mine in Los Angeles introducing me to a magazine, a custom van magazine called Rolling Heavy. And I really loved the magazine, and I noticed that they were paying attention to like rock music as well within the magazine. So I ended up getting in contact with the founder of the magazine, and Matt was really stoked and that I reached out, and he set up an interview. He said, why don't we do an interview and put you in the magazine in the music section. And then during the interview, I think it was at the end of the interview, I said, man, it'd be great if we like got together and did like some kind of event, you know, Rolling Heavy and myself and custom bands and a rock show, and maybe do it out in the desert. And I was like, well, I mean, sounds perfect, you know. And he introduced me to a friend of his that produces events, and I sat down with him and we just kind of discussed it and put it together, and that was it.
And how was this year? It was a great lineup.
Yeah, this year was unbelievable. It was, I mean, the first year was amazing, and so that's why we were inspired to do it again, and in hopes of turning it into an annual thing that we can all look forward to, you know, once a year. And you know, we wanted to try new things and try and step it up a little bit for the excitement and for the creative sake, and it was even gnarlier than the first one. So it was like, we're really excited.
So you think you'll do it next year?
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah.
That's awesome. You are an iconic figure of the desert rock scene. What do you enjoy most about that scene?
Well, the desert rock scene probably means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but
right.
For me, it's just it's a scene that I grew up with in the late 80s, late 80s, and you know, that particular movement was probably done by early 90s, you know. And not to suggest there weren't things happening prior to that era and after, but that desert scene that I hold in my mind and heart was that, like, you know, 86 to like 90, 95, you know, 93. That was a real exciting time. But we didn't know. It was, that's the irony of it all. We were just making do with what we had. We had no idea that it would be something worth reminiscing about.
And now it's still going on.
Yeah, it's really kind of surreal in a beautiful way, though.
So how is it compared to then? What are the main differences that you notice?
Well, back then, I mean, it was naturally, it was just a different time. I mean, the internet wasn't born yet. Digital technology hadn't taken over yet. You know, it was like the last true, authentic era of like a classic rock and roll, punk rock influenced DIY, you know, response. I mean, that was the last of it, I think, you know, certainly in the desert, you know, and the world changed. You know.
But still people care about desert
of course,
rock.
yeah, and as we should. I still care. I mean, you know. Yeah.
Let's talk about your latest album, Thou the Devil. How did you approach the songwriting?
Well, I mean, I had no plans to be a solo artist, and again, the irony of having the freedom and you know, control, if you will, as a solo artist, I really finally arrived at a place where I've been able to assemble a band and kind of put myself back in the band, you know, situation. You know, I like, you know, collaborating, and I like the group effort. You know, that's where I came up as a musician. And so the songwriting process and the whole record in general was really the result of me wanting to kind of really work as a band, even though it's, you know, it's just my name repping the creative process. It very much is a band effort, you know, and that's what gives it that vibe and that quality, you know.
Do you use particular instruments or equipment to get that sound?
I don't have any kind of formal creative process. Okay. I kind of, you know, every new record is a new hill to climb, and I don't have any particular rhyme or reason or you know, it all starts with just a vibe that you want to project, you know, or a vibe that I'm feeling that I'm just, whether I want to project it or not, is going to have to be at that particular time is going to have to be what reps what we do. And so for me, it's all about just authenticity. I think that's the one main thing that I try to accomplish in every creative process, endeavor, record, is just to hold on to, you know, the authenticity of that time and what I have to work with, and then you know, find the fun element in the embracing of that authenticity.
And did you have a particular idea or inspiration for the lyrics?
No, my lyrics kind of always border between fantasy and reality. Mm-hmm. You know, I try to find that balance. I don't want it to be too much in the you know, daydream category, but I don't also want to sit there and dwell upon, you know, hardships and frustrations. You know, I try to find that middle ground.
You also released a couple of videos from this album, Stuck and Loving. Did you participate to the visual concepts?
No, actually, my manager and his team of people, they're the ones that are affiliated with Rolling Heavy and stuff like that, and okay. And they were like, we had this idea we want to do, and you know, I just was totally cool with them, you know, saying, hey, let's. You know, I get excited when people have their own ideas with my trip, you know, because it's, you know, I have a loose theory that, like, my music's not really for me, you know, it's for other people. So sometimes it makes perfect sense for them to say, hey, I've got this idea to contribute to what you're doing. It's like, fuck, awesome. And it's exciting for me to sit back and just be part of that. So I went with it, and it was fun. It was the most fun I've had in a long time, if ever, making a video.
Did you actually choose these songs, or they decided the songs?
We all kind of decided, like, what do you think? Yeah, that could work, you know? Yeah.
So many know you as a drummer, Fu-Manchu, Caius, but now you're playing guitar and singing. So what do you like most of the two, drumming or playing guitar and singing?
Well, it all depends. I don't know that I have one that I like more than the other, but okay. I mean, you know, if I didn't want to be playing guitar and singing at this point in my career, I wouldn't be doing it. Okay. So it's just feels like it's the place for me to be right now.
So you don't miss drumming live?
Well, I drum at home.
Oh, okay.
You know, I work in my studio, you know, throughout the week, and I get on the drums and, you know, kick some beats a little bit. Yeah, my kids are really into drums right now, so, you know, I jam with them and stuff. Yeah, drums are always there.
In the past, you collaborated with many musicians. Now, do you prefer to focus on your solo career, or you're thinking about doing other projects as well?
Well, it's tough. I mean, it's hard. There's so much I want to do, but I think I just am really obsessive about just making, you know, a good record and going out and putting on a good, you know, rock show. You know, it's like, you know, I'm here. I've arrived at my dream band, and we're up and kicking, and things are cool. So I try not to get too greedy with my my ambitions or my ideas, you know, or my wants. You know, we'll make another record, and then we'll come out and we'll tour it, and that's about what it is. Who, you know, I just try to keep it simple.
Okay, so what are your plans after this tour?
We'll wrap the States in a couple weeks, and then we go straight to Australia.
Nice.
Do a couple weeks down in Australia. I'll come home and chill out for a little while, and then we go back to Europe for some summer dates in August. And then we're going to release a live record that we recorded last year in Berlin, Germany. And then we'll go back and support the release of that in Europe in October. Yeah, and then we'll come home and chill out and continue working on a new record.
Okay. Good luck with everything, and thank you for the interview.
Thank you.